win 12-7. From their first season in the NHL, and that is a world-class free kick from David Beckham. One punch to turn the whole thing around. This I don't know.
Good evening. Welcome to Sports Collective TV. I'm your host and moderator. I'm Farron, a.k.a. WDC. I want to thank you for tuning and listening in today. As always, we have a very spectacular show for you. As you can see, I don't do this by myself. The deck is full, as always, and we're going to get the introductions out the way, and then we got some topics we want to bring to you. I think we're going to start with the Drew League because that's where we ended the weekend. And the Drew League, for me, was like a game show, man. It was like jumper. It was like crazy, man. That was my first time. That was my first time there. So
they were virgins before that, but thanks to me, they are no longer virgins.
That guy over there has been
Drew League virgins.
He is not a virgin.
I go back like A-Track. You know what I'm saying?
You can only count for one virgin.
But I've been out of the gym for quite some time.
Know,
so I'm gonna tell you that Saturday driving it. Well, I wasn't driving. Roman was driving. But anyway, because I couldn't even drive. I'd like to. You going with me? You drive. Heart was just beating because I've been a gym rat for so long, and now when you deal with older young men, it's a whole different animal because the talent pool and what you're gonna see is like this level of excitement.
Yeah.
So there was 40, 50-year-olds playing in there too.
Yeah, that's
all the way down to high school.
Yeah. So
but the gym used to have no air conditioning, no lighting,
right.
And the floor was one of the most horrific floors you've ever played on.
Well, that whole facility, they've done a really good job.
Yeah, Nike came in, put the lights on, the air conditioning saving there's no way I could even stay in that gym. I'd have to go outside and go back in. But now they're redoing the locker room, so you saw the lockers were outside.
Right.
Normally the locker, you could, the media could go, certain media, and I was one of them, which is fun, could go back to the locker room, and then May would go, you met Coach May. Just love Coach May. She would get me, whoever to interview, and I'd go stand in front of the Drew League thing and be able to interview Lou Williams and Tariq Black. But it's really
that's
hard
like another
now.
thing, you know what I'm
We
saying?
was out there
It's another thing. Like if you hanging out with Serene,
I saw him too.
People passing by you at 900 miles an hour, right?
Right.
You don't know who that is?
Right,
Who was that?
I know, right?
I'm like, he just gave me death.
She know everybody.
By the time I
There
looked
goes
at him,
Frank
I got the back of his head. Do you know that's his family members? You know, the family members, the Uber drivers.
Right. The Lyft driver.
This is crazy.
And then,
She knew all of them.
Freda's like, look, it's Meta World Peace. I'm like, oh, Meta's here? So the Meta comes down the line saying hi to a few people.
No. He pumped his brakes. He see
In the picture,
He see Serene. He said,
hey, Serene.
I just happened to be standing right next to him. Like, okay, I got you.
oh, I saw that. You knew Meta, or how did that happen? I saw you looking
we're
at him.
business
She
together.
built relationships, man.
Connection. She got ideation. You know what ideation is?
No.
Working on it. Keep working on it. Just,
Actually, I mean, it was over a 3-year period that we've gotten to know each other, and I introduced myself to him after a late game at the Drew League on a Sunday night, and I just said, look, I've always wanted to meet you. I'm a writer for the Lake Show Life, so I enjoy writing about you, but you are my float. And he looked at me, and I said, you are my favorite Laker of all time, and I'm not just saying that.
Oh.
I do have a...
And it was because of the mental health stuff, and
that part
he
is
who he
important.
is. And then we just said, he hugged me at that point, put his phone in my phone, so... Let's keep in touch. And then he promised me an interview that didn't happen until the South Bay Lakers media day when I requested him 2 years later. But then he was pointing at me saying, Shireen, I see you. Yeah. He's such a special person.
People seem to forget how good of a teammate he was. Playing alongside Kobe and Powell and stuff like that. He really fit into that mold so well. So
he's been apologizing for his play style, though. The 3-on-3
he's done
tournament.
something that really no NBA player has ever done. And he gave up his rings to be able to help kids.
And mental health. And
that's big. I mean, because these guys, their accolades mean something to them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
To auction it off, to raise money to help kids.
Yeah.
That just sets you
It's
apart.
a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That's
so
really
that,
amazing.
and
that needs to get its props, So
yeah, and
his son was balling.
Yeah, because the
son
starters,
was
they made them sit because they'd already made the playoffs. So Coach Torino, Coach Al said, look, we're going to play the players that haven't been able to play. And they're out there killing it, right? He's great. Ron Artest III.
Yeah.
I think he might play for Northridge. He decided he didn't want to go pro. He's still trying to play
that's
basketball.
a good look.
Yeah, and he's good.
You ain't got to rush that.
You can go to school route.
Yeah.
Get some education. That's good.
Yeah.
So who are you?
I'm the dream. You named it that.
We're supposed to be going around the deck. So
Right.
My name is
You got the mic.
Shireen Ryan. At Sports Crazy with 2 E's on Twitter and at Sports Crazy with 2 E's 28 on Instagram. And you'll see these guys this weekend. And when I'm at the Drew League, I'm always putting highlights. But wherever I go, wherever I meet them.
She is the highlight.
So let me explain it to you. See, I've just been watching without knowing, right? Watching without knowing. So now I know. Okay. So how is it that she catch every action play to the basket with the foul and then edit it, and post it?
Her edit game is on point.
It's like she filmed it, it happened, and she's at a point of really she should put some caution signs right there because I'm surprised she ain't got smashed up.
Her edit game is on point.
Hey, I only got stepped on once this week.
Edit, post. And then by the time I get coverage, and then I'm like, it's 3 posts. Like, man, it's amazing. You're doing an amazing job.
I was like,
you have to remember their Instagram accounts. That's the hardest thing. You have to go to Drew's Stat. By the way, you can get the live stats. The playoffs start on Friday night at drewstats.com by ePlay, and I'm going to put a little plug in there because it's really fun. So you have to go to the stats to find the player. Then you have to look up the player in Instagram to see if you can find which one. And sometimes I tag the wrong guy, but they know that I tagged the wrong guy. So somebody one of my clients, Duron Scott, who is a great basketball player, he's like, Shireen, wrong TJ. Like, oh, I'm sorry. So then I got to go find the right TJ.
Oh, yeah, you can go back here and edit it up.
Yeah.
So how do you capture all that? Is your edit game strong?
Like I said, it's a process. You get the thing, and then you go up and you find the player. Then you go get the Instagram or if they don't have that on Twitter.
And she's talking all the same time. I mean, it's like
and I'm
this
talking.
is like
commentating the game.
It's like cooking with kids. You know what I'm saying? She's just doing all kinds of stuff. But
yesterday, during the Birdies Revenge LA Unified game, I was talking to the players and posting the video. So we were trying to talk to Marcus Bell, and then Jerion kept taking charges. And
power bars and energy.
And everybody wanted Birdies to win. We're on a 26
and you're doing that for hours too. It's a long event. So
you're standing. Look, these guys can tell you it's not easy.
Yeah,
you don't want to lose your place. But then yesterday they allowed the media to sit in the front row, which is my show, and they put the players who usually hang out at that game behind us. So we had Pat Rembrandt with us, hanging out with his friends, and a bunch of players were talking about the other players. So that was kind of fun having them around, right? Talking about
and we'll make sure we get Oscar X's and O's views because he was there. He was there this weekend.
Ball.
So when he comes up at the bottom of the hour, we're going to talk to Oscar about his
fights.
Oscar said he
twisted ankles.
He was so full of energy. By the end of the day, I'm like, I think I need to get you something to eat. He goes, I haven't eaten all day. I didn't even have breakfast. I'm like, let's go eat. Let's go eat.
I just what's his name? Wasn't the little youngster name that was guarding Harden?
Frank Sessions? Nitty.
That's a cold piece right there.
And Jerion was also guarding him really well.
But we're just talking about this one.
Okay. Frank.
That's a cold piece. One, you got a great picture with all 3 of them talking. But
Harden
to see this young kid and Harden and him have a go, and Harden is like, you little puppy dog. I'm just, I'm going to drag you. And then all of a sudden, he's just there, man. He was just, I seen his little highlight.
Turnovers.
Whoever was taking his highlights, they was up top.
Oh, yeah. That was the guy next to us that had the big camera.
Yeah,
They got
overtime was there. Slam was there. Baller
They got the contract. They got the contract for the Drew League for video. So they got 2 corners and old boy and
his
one
highlight,
walking around.
Whoa.
There's a lot of highlights out there,
And when you're watching the game, you're like, I ain't see all that.
One of my friends, an Arizona Wildcat fan, she says, Shireen, I see you. It was on the Sports Center Ball's Life pull
highlight.
out. Yeah, highlight. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I made it.
I made it on Sports Crazy.
Yeah, see, you made it on Sports Crazy.
By the way, I'm.
And your comment was crazy.
Dave will
too.
not be your friend
I'm
after
Cali
that.
Sportsman. I'm Cali Sportsman, and this is my boy.
Yeah, you know what it is. I'm going to fill in for Robert Lamar here. I don't have my Skull on me shirt, but we'll get that going.
What did you just say?
You can check me out, Al Pasquale, on Facebook, and we got the alert
Got a
coming
nice
up later.
hat on
He
there.
can get a
That's
purple
right.
eye for that one.
Appreciate
Wow, yeah.
I'm glad you
Robert
ain't got
Lamar,
no
where you
scholar.
at?
I
Where
know
you
you ain't
at?
got no
You
scholar.
ain't no, and you ain't no
Sure.
stand-in either.
Yeah, you're not
Don't
standing, you're a
downgrade yourself
full-fledged
like
member.
that. Man, how you going to downgrade yourself?
Art Larm, right?
The alarm, that's right, and that's coming up later.
You got some
in the
topics
show
for us
we go.
today, man?
Yeah, I got some topics going on. There's some philanthropic stuff going on in the NBA with LeBron as well as the Kawhi
Yeah,
situation
that looks like a
School
palace.
in Toronto.
That looks like a
You see, at
palace.
school?
Oh,
Yeah, that looked beautiful, really beautiful.
Well, you know,
And,
the thing about learning, and I learned this when I put the NFL Yet program together, is that two things, safety and beauty, helps kids learn well. So beauty alone, you know, so when you go places where they got like brand new schools, you know, they're supposed to have better grades, it's supposed to be a better atmosphere, kids supposed to get, you know, versus...
they feel they're worth it. a
Yeah,
little
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So he really exemplified that.
What I was amazed with that he got the Ohio Board of Schools on board with that, and
That's
he
great.
partnered with them to do that. So it's not just a private school; it's a public school going, by whatever the Ohio curriculum is and everything. So
Well, it's chartered. It's kind of the
Well, these are
same
the
scenario.
things I love
Right.
that LeBron
Yeah,
does. But he got a lot of crap from Cleveland fans.
LeBron James.
On
James,
Twitter.
LeBron
it's the
James.
LeBron show.
So before we take this break, so wrap up the Drew League, man, this weekend. Give us your
Drew
overall.
League is, and I'm going to put this back, just as a, seeing my boy Ito in the building, Porter in the building, my old folks from
Compton Magic.
Compton
yeah,
Magic,
it was
seeing
great,
those guys.
Great seeing him.
They helped us
You
out a
brought,
long time ago.
Kevin Porter Jr.
Yes,
on.
and seeing Porter from the Bay, and it was just great. Thing is that from a league standpoint, it's not a lot of coaching. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you really managing these guys, get out there. A lot of egos are out there. But from a fundamental standpoint, you're still seeing guys not pushing the ball, pushing the ball forward, playing together with a good chemistry, and just making free throws.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but other than that, it's a great opportunity to go watch good free basketball. You know what I'm saying? It's community driven. I think Maxine Waters was there.
Yeah, it's giving an award to Harden.
Yeah, Harden got his award. Like I said, we had the game there. It was I put a post. It was hip hop and basketball. It's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal opportunity for anybody in this community to live in LA to get.
Gotta go check it out.
There's a
That's
lot of
great.
respect.
Especially basketball
There's a lot
lovers.
of respect, but at the same time, everybody's yelling at everybody. So
But at the same
that's
token,
what makes
like
it so much fun.
We
The
was
referees
talking,
are
even
yelling.
when you had Pat and all those guys, it's
Yeah.
like basketball kids are just basketball kids.
Yeah.
They basically cry a lot.
Yeah.
So it's part of the game.
Well, that's what I.
They're just whining. I'm
That's
like,
what I,
well,
well,
you
that's
know.
what I wanted. As far as my takeaway was, pretty much that Cali Sportsman was, man, they were just crying like, ref, you didn't see him. What's with the shot?
Go
You
to
didn't
Venice.
see it. You didn't see
Ain't that where they
ref?
play at with the little
pros-
children's
like-
park?
I'm like, are you
Yeah, in the Venice
You be at the
I'm
little
like, are you
children's park.
serious?
When Al be at the little children's
You
park.
didn't see
down
Harden
there.
in the referee's ear. He was whining just as much.
You see the
Just
head
as
ready for
much.
that.
and it's just temperamental.
Yeah.
Well, they loaded that
Oh,
team
man.
to beat birdies, so there's a
That's
lot
a
of
new
that
era
going
of
on.
basketball, though, the crying around stuff. I feel like that used to
I've
not
seen
be as
just-
much
if
of
you
the
haven't
game.
seen
You know what I mean?
Andre
the whole
Drummond
hand-checking thing.
and Stanley
Yeah.
Johnson
Crying
talk
in
to the
basketball
referees
since
at the
the
Drew
40s.
League.
It was hilarious
Everybody
to see
does
them. It was
it.
hilarious
It's
to see
not
them
the-
grown ass men. Oh, ref, you didn't see that, ref? Hey man, he pushed me, man. Can you call him? Can you call
Next
a foul,
time,
ref?
can I get one?
Like
Martellus
y'all,
Bennett
I'm like, y'all
goes-
killing me.
Why
Oh,
did you give me a
hustling
foul?
for calls.
Martellus Bennett, the former New England Patriot, was playing
No,
Saturday.
this the one. Pow, slapped him. I got all
you
ball.
But you remember, he goes, well, when I jump, you call a foul. When I don't jump, well, what is it I'm supposed to do? Jump or not jump?
Then I went straight up. Yeah,
gonna
right
take-
on his
Remember
back.
that?
We're going to take a 20-second timeout right here on Sports Collective TV. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, at IMWDC, Sports Collective Media on Instagram. Follow us, and we'll be right back. Shout us out. Hey, I'm Sergeant First Class Farron Dozier. I'm here at the military base, and I have the sickle cell trait. Now, why I got involved is I experienced what they call sickle cell trait exertion. And I was doing the Army physical fitness test, the 2-mile run, and when I got done, I collapsed. A lot of soldiers and athletes have been dying at football fields and running track, and the family members have no idea that they have the sickle cell trait gene or that it's a trigger. But my purpose is to mobilize the community so we can find out what's in your genes. How will life be if we could prevent another child from being born with sickle cell trait or disease? And if a child was born with the trait or disease, that the family members would have the education, awareness, and resources in every city that they lived in. So tune into our webinar series and find out what's the count.
What's the count? What's the count? What's the count?
All right, welcome back to Sports Collect. Don't tell me I need to smile.
You got nice teeth, though. You got nice teeth.
You smile.
Oh my God! I was listening to Kevin Hart on XM all the way over here. Could not stop smiling. My cheeks hurt.
Kevin Hart got his own show.
Right, for real. You can't plug everybody.
Sports Collective TV, right?
You can't plug everybody.
Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Can I get some of that comedy money, please?
There we go. Smile. Now, talk to the people again. What were you telling them?
Again, welcome back to Sports Collective TV. Right here on Mondays on MorrisMediaLive.com. Make sure you check us out. So where you want to start at, man? We got so much to talk about.
We got a lot going on. I think that school topic was an interesting point because, LeBron opening his new school and everything. Mm-hmm. The interesting part about that is he gave an interview with Rachel Nichols. Mm-hmm. And that was the first time LeBron actually sat down in front of a camera to answer questions since he's, been with the Lakers.
He was talking to me, right, Al?
Yes, I'm
talking to me.
About
definitely talking
history. About those words?
Yeah. I'm still like, really?
I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that was a good opportunity for LeBron to come out and to talk to the media and stuff like that, using that school as kind of a diversion a little bit of all the Lakers stuff?
It was controlled.
It was a very controlled interview.
There was no one else there. It was just him talking to the camera, saying why he felt so lucky and always wanted to be a Laker and wanted to learn from Magic Johnson. Right?
Now, how do you think
Which I think was the reason he came.
Now, should Lakers fans still feel disappointed about that, though? I mean,
Lakers fans are fickle.
Yeah, man.
They're not.
I mean,
they're
this is
not.
fair weather stuff. Yeah.
Look, third quarter, when they put LeBron on the bench, everybody that's a Laker fan going to be on their cell phone at the game. So, come on. Laker fans are what they are.
Entertainment.
That's true.
You winning, we with you.
When
you're not winning, you're not with you. You know what I'm saying? Then they should be trying to reach over. If the Clippers winning, okay, let's see what they're doing. It's just
right now they just got to eat those words, and I know those words taste like. We already know what those words taste like.
Well, did you get to read my Lake Show Live post?
Yeah, I did read that. Thank you for putting us in there.
We put the show in it because we talked about that a lot. And then I didn't know that Deloitte Consulting actually does a survey for your personality to find out what kind of person you are on a team. So that was kind of interesting. So, you're the person that's the glue guy, or you're the person that wants everything done a certain way, or you're the person that wings it.
We need that for this show. Find out where these people stand. Shouts out to Fredo. I'm coming for you.
I think I'm the certain way person. It's got to be done a certain way. And he's definitely the wing it.
Shit, let's make it happen. Ain't that right, Sarah? Let's make it happen.
It does come to chemistry, right?
So the philanthropy piece for LeBron James, are you guys even surprised at that, or that's
it's kind of expected,
part of
What happened?
It was a good political move too, leaving from Cleveland, and at least he's not just leaving and leaving nothing behind. Kind of.
So I felt like that was
a little bit of a
you guys have not been to his website, apparently.
No,
he don't need to do nothing. Really,
oh, he doesn't.
I mean, LeBron don't have to.
He's already doing stuff.
He's
right?
done, and kids and
got nothing else to
scholarships.
But why don't the people give him credit though? It still feels like the generally.
It's not about the school. It's about you left Cleveland, so all the Cleveland fans are all mad. Yeah,
you got to understand. It's sports. There's an opposing and there's opposing.
It's all debatable.
So somebody got to dislike you. That's just what it is.
As you are that he's in L.A., the Cleveland fans are just
where?
as upset.
Yeah, Switzerland.
Turkey somewhere?
He sits on the fence.
I mean, you from way far, so why do you even... Have you even been to Cleveland?
Gone, right?
Have you even been to Cleveland?
Damn. That's all they have.
And I don't plan on going on
Google Maps don't count either. You just can't go on Google Maps.
And you can walk it. You can walk it. I know your driving skills is new, but you can walk to Cleveland. I mean, it'll take you a few months. But anyway, come on. He don't need to do nothing, man. He need to come here, put some W's up, get a chip for this great #1 market, and then he's done.
And it's a wrap.
You guys don't think he's going back to retire?
3 years out of the Lakers, he's good.
I'm.
How long you think he'll play? I get 3 years. calling out Fredo.
That's what I said. 3
Oh,
years.
faking
That's
Fredo.
what I said, right?
Fake Fredo.
And it might
I'm
take 3
calling
years
you
to
out.
get a
Now,
champion.
we had
Google it.
we had an
3 years. 3 years tops.
We had an interesting theory from our call-in, Lou calling in though last time, and he did the math a little bit there because LeBron James Jr. is supposed to be eligible for the NBA whenever LeBron is finished with his.
That's dreaming.
Yeah,
That's
I
LeVar
think that's going to be,
That's dreaming.
and that's why LeBron doesn't have a problem with
But
the
how
bar
many
either,
years
'cause
you gonna
appreciate
ride the
that.
bench till the son get to the league? I mean, come on. Who say he don't twist his ankle and don't even make it to the league?
For real.
Yeah,
Kobe
that's
Bryant?
true. But that
We
is the
seen it.
plan.
We seen it at the
That is
Drew
the
League.
plan.
Injury come with sport. Injury come with
Yeah.
sport.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say this, but I just don't see it. Nothing's happened to LeBron. He ain't been like majorly out
He's
of
never
no
had
game.
a big injury or
Right.
something
So
like
I'm
that.
just saying.
Harden went down at the
That could
Drew
happen.
League.
I know when Harden went down, I was like, "Oh my
I was like-
goodness!"
Harden went down at the Drew League.
There go the
It's not like
Rockets
It
this
looked
football
like
year.
players where they
season
sign
ending.
contracts saying that you can't have a motorcycle, you can't do this,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't do
You
that.
still have
So-
to work out, like
He
in
did-
basketball.
He did
It's
have
not
I'm actually
skateboarding.
his jersey taped up because he couldn't rep that logo. We ain't gonna
Oh.
say. He had that little tape on there.
Okay.
He had his
Yeah,
tape.
I didn't know what that was
That's-
for.
That's
That
the
was a
business
good
side of
point.
Yeah,
basketball.
it was all taped up
The
because
Dream
I
missed
thought that
something?
was just a
Oh my
fashion
God! Thanks for being
No.
there.
Thank you.
She didn't catch that one.
Hey, I was
So I
watching.
needed you guys around.
Watching. You can't wear that
Yeah.
brand. No,
Can't
no,
wear that
no.
brand.
No.
So
What else?
everything
Yeah,
in sports right now is like baseball.
It's quiet.
The West is
going
popping
on?
though. At least my A's are doing good.
What
There
are
you go.
So I don't want to take y'all there if y'all can't go there.
Oh, we're going baseball?
We're going
I
baseball
don't-
right
hey,
now.
Hey, which one to go?
And when we
Pool,
don't have
billiards, bowling.
Dodgers
They
are
got
going
the
to be
sand-
shut out.
They got
and
the they got the sandbag throw now. You know that's even on
it's
TV.
The
You know
sandbag.
what was
Yeah,
it?
you see the
The
sandbag
lacrosse
throw?
World Cup was just going
It's
on
too
like a
early
week
for
ago.
baseball.
Okay.
It's too early
Well,
for
if you want to go baseball,
girls rugby. I mean that's on. I mean,
there was
shit.
the Hall of
The
Fame
Sparks are
induction.
losing.
Hell no,
yo.
they're dealing with the Cali
There was a Hall
Sportsman.
of Fame
I go-
induction this weekend.
I haven't seen the chess
for the
game.
NBA.
You went, a
I've seen
Wildcat was
anything sport.
forgot his name.
I've seen it.
Have to get it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, the Hall of
There's
Fame
one.
for
Because Drew League is
baseball.
played out. It's done.
The
But now,
Sparks are
South-
losing.
It's
What's
not
up with the
it's
Sparks,
playoffs
man?
time.
Sparks are losing all their games now. They had a chance to be in second place real easy with
The
a
Sparks
game
dropped
against
how many
the
in a
Fever.
row?
They lost like 5 or 6 in a row recently. They dropped from second place in the
Because
whole
you
Well,
don't-
now that LeBron's
WNBA
in
to
LA,
like
they're
sixth
like-
place in the
I'm saying
conference.
What does
Problem with
LeBron
that-
got to do with LA?
Because this is the show.
I'm
you
no
guys
more
have.
LeBron talk. I'm tired of it. We're not going to focus on LeBron.
Our mouths
We're
are
done
salty
talking about
enough from
LeBron.
everything that was going on with.
Aren't you
with LeBron there.
had enough of that?
I have,
No more
yes.
LeBron talk. So even call in.
Kobe's coming back.
293
Kobe's
Now you just started
Kobe,
rumors.
I guess Kobe. There was some
Kobe
rumor that
coming
Kobe was working out with Jason Tatum.
Kobe
There were.
coming
There were
back.
pictures of that.
Again,
And they were showing
we
him
don't like
talking
that
to
because
you.
he's a Celtic.
Yeah, Kobe coming back.
Kobe is not coming
Kobe's
back.
not
We
coming
chopped it
back.
up. He
Who's going
coming
to go
back.
play for Brad Stevens?
He coming back. Kobe
Giving
gonna-
it to
Kobe gonna
LeBron
play
and
for
the
the
Lakers.
Warriors.
After Terry,
For the who?
the Warriors. I don't know if the Warriors want him at this point.
They
So
need-
Swaggy P hasn't been signed yet anywhere. What do you
Yeah,
think?
because
he's
he need
gonna
a
end up?
haircut. If you get a haircut, somebody's signing. That haircut got to go, bro.
Is it past due?
Oh my
The
god!
haircut.
How long he been wearing that? He been wearing that for a while.
Like
ain't
1973, too damn long.
He's been coaching kids though. He's
His
been coaching
barbers
kids
do
this offseason.
in LA.
Back with
Is 43rd and Crenshaw. It's
So
a lot
wait,
of
wait a minute.
barbers.
You don't follow him. Barbers come to his house.
Oh,
He's got
here
a
we
favorite of barber comes to
He
his
sure
house.
ain't
His barber
been
must be
using
on
it.
strike.
I mean, if he's so LA, he can come down.
I mean, I'm
Get his
watching
haircut
how.
down here.
Yeah, I watch all the video of him getting his hairline done and everything.
Shit, I'll sponsor a haircut right here.
Really? What do you
the
want it?
barbershop.
What do you
You
want
said
it to
he'll
look
sponsor-
like? You don't like his
No.
black hair?
No, what it looks like now.
What do you-
Hey, we don't know nothing about nothing
braid
like
it?
that,
Like,
man.
what do you want? You want some fancy braids? What do
No,
you-
I'll give him like an Italian comb over or something
Oh,
like that. A
my
lot of
God.
gel.
An Italian.
An Italian come over.
Switzerland
Taking the
Italian.
stallion.
Italian come over.
Swaggy, you're fine the way you are.
A lot of gel, baby. A lot of gel.
Italian
I'm a fan.
sausages.
Is he sitting down or is he
As long as
standing
you
up?
shoot those straight, I don't care what your hair looks like.
Italian sausages?
Italian sausages. Oh my God.
No, we passed.
I got your haircut,
passed.
Swaggy.
No
That's
You
all I
went
Swaggy.
too
need.
far.
No
I'm
Swaggy.
fine, Swaggy. Just
Swaggy
keep
and
being
sausages.
you.
That don't go together.
You know it's most hated, right? He came up with that for a reason because everybody's always hating on Swaggy.
What was the reason for it? Was it
Because everybody's always hating. When he was at the Lakers, there was a lot of hate.
why?
and he
though?
went to-
the Lakers
Because of that
Because
one highlight
the Lakers-
where he shot the three and he turned around and he's like, shooting, but then
That's
the
the
ball
reason?
doesn't go in. That just
no,
was,
no, no,
that
let me-
painted
let
the
me take
whole
you- let me
picture
take you
for
back.
his
All right,
attitude.
Swaggy P.
That was
Playing
a
well.
Can I take you
Swaggy
back?
P,
I
this
can
is for
take
you,
you back.
Swaggy.
The Dwight
Take you back.
Howard
Take you
days?
back.
Dwight Howard
I'm gonna
days?
take you back.
The
So
audience
Laker
because
fans,
of
when Kobe came to the league, remember he was real cocky and he was
Yes.
making a lot of shots and he was not hitting the rim.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same culture, different kid. So when Swaggy coming in and he just doing too much, come on. I
Yeah.
got a Ferrari outside. Slow down, son.
But it was fun when
It's a
when
culture
when
thing.
he hit
It's
them.
all culture thing. But then
But then he played.
But he
in the
didn't have a
Drew.
game like
He
Kobe
played in
did,
the
so-
Drew.
but he got a
never-
warrior
And
now.
that
He got
next
him a-
season,
he
he went
got
to
a
the
ring.
Warriors.
He got
He
a
got a
ring.
ring.
He ain't got
got him
a
in
he ain't
the-
got a girlfriend, but he got a ring.
No, he has. He's
Why?
with the
No,
mother of his
you
kids
missed
right
the
now.
joke.
It's not a joke.
The Iggy joke.
I'm just happy
hell,
he's
yeah.
with the mother of his kids right
Shout
now.
out
They
to-
even did a In My
Russell.
Feelings
Black
thing,
people call baby
which was
mamas.
hysterical.
We don't call them
I'm
mother
not going to
with
do
the
that.
children.
Right, it's baby
As
mama.
a woman,
Baby mama.
as a woman, I'm not going to say that.
Who that is for 500? That's just my baby daddy.
Yeah, isn't Nick the baby daddy? Because isn't he giving the money up?
Who that is for
Don't matter.
500?
Baby daddy and baby daddy.
That's just my baby daddy. Where's the
that
buzzers
money.
at? Where the bells
Oh
at?
man, we didn't even have the.
Well,
buttons
he
on.
loves.
Yeah.
At least he loves his kids. You know, he knows his kids. He
You
loves
gotta
his kids.
love him because if he quit her, he gotta pay for him.
No, that's
how
not
it-
true at
that's
all.
how it
I'm going to
works.
say right here and now.
I speak for the African American
Nick Young
community,
is
that's
very,
how that
very
works.
close
That's-
with his kids.
He has to be.
He does not follow.
He
He does not follow Nick
He
Young.
He
has
does not follow our culture?
Yeah.
He
What are you
doesn't
saying?
follow Nick Young. Like
But
if you
Nick-
watch him with his kids, you can
unless
tell
Nick
it's not
turned
fake.
white last night, he part of the same
Does
program
Matt-
I'm part of, and that means he gotta make sure he take care
You better
of
drink
their
that Act
kids.
Right juice.
But he
man.
doesn't have to get on the floor and roll around with them.
You
He
better
doesn't.
drink that Act Right juice.
You know what I'm saying?
All
Act
right,
right.
whatever.
She's like, whatever.
I'm gonna hit them pockets.
I can tell which daddies love their
I
kids.
hope he
can
loves
you tell?
his,
What's
his,
social
his,
media?
his
Tell on
kids.
social
Because
media.
the way they talk to them, the
It's
way the kids
filmed
talk
and
back to
edited
them,
and
it's
then
not
posted
edited. Not for him.
Boy, she in love with these basketball
Have you
players.
not all of them, but have you?
Don't you remember?
Not all of them.
I got my list. I got my list.
Not all of them.
I
love
got
some
my
of them.
list.
Do you remember the days Serene used to be quiet and subtle?
She was
No,
quiet.
She
I
used to
can't.
be over
I
here
can't
like she
picture
had
that.
autism
She
because
was
she was
quiet.
nervous. Now we can't get her to shut up.
You give me a player that I respect their game and the person and all that,
we
and I
here
won't
to-
stop talking about it.
How do you come up with those categories when you watch looking for
I
scouting
like
the
the player that plays with heart, doesn't give up, and does whatever they can to win.
And you
That
think
sounds
Swaggy
like a
fits into
fucking
that?
cliche. I'm sorry, that sounds like a cliche.
cliche. We'll edit that
Not
out.
everybody plays like that.
But you gotta understand, and this
Not
I was
everybody
talking
plays
to
like
one of
TJ
the I was talking to one of the
Raleigh
players.
Elkins,
All right,
all my
what is
The
it?
Arizona
great thing
Wildcats.
about like watching the Drew League is
Yeah.
that our watching basketball period is
Those guys play a lot of
you
those guys
gotta
play with heart.
develop. You constantly in a develop mode. You ain't never like at the top
No,
of your game.
never.
You know what I'm saying? These cats missing free throws and rebounds. And they mad at themselves.
But
you know
a
what I'm
lot
saying?
of them are working out like
Right,
all day long.
exactly.
They work out and they do the
and
runs
lean.
and-
These guys is lean. There ain't no chubbiness in it. I felt lean that day too. Just watching them. You know what I'm
You
saying?
was leaning on the wall. That's why you felt lean, because you was leaning on the wall.
So I don't just follow the NBA players. I follow a lot of those Drew League guys, and a lot of them play overseas, and they work on their game all the time.
What
They're
brought-
always
They're
doing
better.
runs,
They're
they're
better.
always
They got
working
an
out. They
amazing
get up at 5 in the
opportunity
morning.
playing in
What
that Drew
attracts you
League.
to the Drew League? Like, did you see
They
that
let
as an
me in.
avenue of opportunity? Like, what did you
Yeah,
see?
I
That
had
it wasn't
heard-
covered?
There was no coverage. I wasn't seeing anything. And I was hearing about all this great basketball that was going on. And what I loved about it was free
Yeah,
to
your
those.
feet are kind of high from the ground. You know,
Yeah,
like-
I'm short.
Right.
So there were do-gooders too, because they were letting the kids were coming
That
in.
was
People
for
were coming
Fredo.
in that couldn't pay to see an NBA game, and the NBA players were showing up, and I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
wow, they just show up. And you know,
That's
you can
what
be
made
that
the whole
close to it.
league from
In
the
Compton.
beginning.
Yeah, so
It's these big names coming
In
down
Compton.
to the playground level, basically, to come play ball.
Well, it got
It's not a playground, but
but it started out as that, right?
the league has gotten
Kind of.
way.
They played in a high
it used
school.
to be more playgroundish.
It's not at
Right.
all now.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
You guys
Now
go
it's
back like in the
competitive.
There is
80s.
ice-
And now
but
with
their
the big
teams
names,
have passed.
it's
It's a West
evolved
Coast
into
record.
something.
It's a West Coast indoor record.
Yeah.
Well,
What
you're
it used to
watching a
be.
game, right? So I was watching a game yesterday, and I'm like, wow, who's that? And I didn't know who it was. I had to look it up. There was 2 LMU players and a UCI player. I didn't know these were, a freshman, 2 sophomores. I didn't know there were college players playing. I didn't know. Well, who's that guy? Oh, he plays in Memphis. Oh, he plays on Memphis?
Oh, there was a Raptor there. It was, who's the Raptor that was at the...
Yeah, DeLon Wright.
Yeah, that guy.
DeLon Wright was playing. He had some really great Vans on.
Yeah,
really.
got
I tried
those
to
on
get
their
him
social media.
plugged
Sneaker
for him
watch.
on that one. He needs to get... DeLon, you need to go to
watch with the
Vans and get an
dream.
endorsement deal for that.
But not for those. There was like 4 or 5 colors.
I like them.
Or call Ilya at iliaask.com and we can work that arrangement.
And on that note, we're getting ready to take a quick break. We missed you at the game. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh,
too.
man, that shot was cold,
I
man.
hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasm, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn. Are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I ain't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. You know the fact that both parents have sickle cell trait, there's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait, 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man. There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org. Hey, I'm Sergeant First Class Farron Dozier. I'm here at the military base, and I have the sickle cell trait. Now, why I got involved is I experienced what they call sickle cell trait exertion. And I was doing the Army physical fitness test, the 2-mile run, and when I got done, I collapsed. A lot of soldiers and athletes have been dying at football fields and running track, and the family members have no idea that they have the sickle cell trait gene or that it's a trigger. So my purpose is to mobilize the community so we can find out what's in your genes. How will life be if we could prevent another child from being born with sickle cell trait or disease? And if a child was born with the trait or disease, that the family members would have the education, awareness, and resources in every city that they lived in. So tune into our webinar series and find out what's the count.
What's the count? What's the count? What's the count?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh,
too.
man, that shot was cold,
I
man.
hated it, but it was good. Damn.
All right, welcome back to Sports Collective TV. Again, I want to thank you for listening in. Hey,
And we're always on.
the commercials you seen right there, that's my foundation. What's the count on sickle cell trait prevention? Very important. We talk about these student athletes and these athletes, but sickle cell trait is an inherited gene. And if you're not aware of that some people with sickle cell trait have collapsed and died from sickle cell trait exertion. So it affects African Americans, Mediterranean, European, Caucasian. Right now, Hispanics are number 2 with sickle cell as well. So make sure you go to my website and check that out, wdconsct.org. I'm a retired Army veteran, and that's my foundation where I go out and I speak to churches, high schools, colleges. And if you want information, again, you You can hit me up at Twitter, Instagram, at IMWDC. I'll come out to wherever you want me to come out, your location, health fairs, like I said, churches, and we do presentations. And again, this is a very important conversation for our student athletes. We talk about the genetics, the genetics part of it. You know, you can have two parents can have a child with sickle cell disease. That's one part of it, but also the athletic aspect of it, which hasn't been talked about a lot, which is I met, families that lost their football players, high school college players.
Really sad stories
on the field from sickle cell trait exertion.
Horrible stuff.
That's my part of that conversation. Here on Sports Collective, this is my therapy. I was depressed a couple years, and, in depression, you lose interest in some things. And so sports was one of the things I lost interest. So these guys and this lady here helped me keep that connection. So I moderate the show, and of course we could all talk trash, right? So
That's right.
And you undersold that too. You've been around, man. Staples Center giving those presentations.
Oh,
You've
yeah,
been
man.
to places.
So, didn't
But,
you get an award this week?
Yeah, I saw that on Facebook.
So
Mr. Humble got something.
yeah, so I was given the award of the Veteran of the Year for my city of Fontana.
Oh, that's
So
great.
somebody nominated me, and
Awesome.
I was
That's
selected.
amazing. Congrats,
so
man.
proud of you.
Yeah,
And I definitely also for the audience want to get that out there. WDC nickname stands for What's the Count, right?
that's
But
What's
that
the
has
Count, yeah.
more meaning than just the name, right? It can go into the meaning of what the count is. What do you need to count? It's about.
I mean, it's actually it could be sickle cell trait. It's actually like what matters to you. So what's the count is a greeting. I play basketball, so you walk in the gym anywhere in any country I walk in. Hey, what's the count? And somebody would tell you to score the game.
Right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's how God gave it to me. I took it and I flipped it, put some flavor to it, put the S to a Z and DA for the, and it became a sports brand and also my.
It
sickle
could be
cell
related
trait
to sickle
awareness.
cell as well, right? What's
Yeah.
the count?
Well, yeah,
Looks for
because
a great
what's going on?
tattoo.
Yeah.
Oh,
for
yeah, I
sure.
got the tattoos, but he's talking about as far as the count, as far as sickle cell blood count for sure.
Yeah, that's the biological part of it.
For males and females, for male, the blood count is, your normal blood count is about 12 to 14. For a person with sickle cell, when it drops below 8 or 9, 7s.
We got Cali heading out the door.
Yeah,
here.
we got Cali. Holla. In my educational piece. So, yeah.
Shout out.
These characters. But yeah, so the blood count definitely, people with sickle cell, that blood count drops below a 6 or 7, that's life threatening. So definitely.
And known people have died from this.
Oh yeah, sickle cell. There's no cure. There's no
there.
cure for sickle cell at all. They got a couple of new medications that they brought out, but as far as the treatment, bone marrow transplants. Things like that.
It's really more about
Painful.
being aware and being able to stop the issue before it reaches a level where there's a point of no return.
Well,
or
yeah, I
too
mean,
much
if
damage
you want to be
already been,
responsible, a lot of people don't understand like the food that we eat
adds
to
that,
that, right? So what shouts out to Dr. Sabi talked about having an alkaline diet, because when you have a crisis, if you don't have the right nutrients and minerals already in your body,
the stress produces
the recovery
more, right.
the recovery time is gonna be impacted. So if you're eating fast foods, you're not getting vitamins and minerals. So if you have a crisis, what happens? You don't have any minerals to
Nothing
help
to
regenerate.
Yeah, your body's already fighting all
Right,
this
it's
other
already
poison
fighting,
in your
exactly.
body.
So
and-
a lot of
and
people
add
don't
that on
understand
top of
that
it.
your diet is important, hydration is important. So when you have those crises, that your body can at least recover properly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it is life threatening.
Well,
And especially the whole-
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, Shereen.
for sure.
I don't.
Very proud.
I mean,
that was awesome.
I know you're humble. I know.
yeah, I'm humble. I mean, I
and
definitely
you don't do it for
appreciate
the accolades.
And of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
It's nice
whole
to be recognized.
Yeah.
of the whole LA division, right?
For
You're-
Fontana, that was my whole.
That was
city,
Fontana.
yeah, for
There
my
you
city.
go.
And
Repping
so,
the city.
I just so you know, I was on my way here. I received a message that somebody wanted to nominate me for Man of the Year.
Wow.
Oh, there you
Wow.
go.
Another
Good for
district.
you.
So
If I could.
stay
Mr.
tuned for
Fontana,
that. We'll
baby.
see what happens to that. But they asked me for my bio so they can nominate for Man of the Year in Fontana. So I don't know what's happening this year. I've been praying that my city recognizes me and takes because I want to have this work in my own community.
Well, so far,
look
so
like
good.
It's coming. Yeah, look like it's coming up. So after all that information, I'm gonna take a quick break. I appreciate you again. WDCOandSCT.org. We're gonna take a quick break because
check
we
that
got
out.
X's and O's coming to the deck with us to get this last half of this show underway. So WDCOandSCT.org. Shout us out. What's the count?
That's
Thank
what's
you.
up.
what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh,
too.
man, that shot was cold,
I
man.
hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasms, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn. Are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I didn't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. Do you know the facts that both parents have sickle cell trait? There's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait, 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army, 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man. There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org. All right, welcome back to Sports Collective TV. I'm your host and moderator. I'm Farron, a.k.a. WDC. Make sure you follow us on social media, Sports Collective Media, Sports Collective TV, Sports Collective Radio. We got the LABC League coming up.
Everywhere.
Yes, everything.
I mean, you can find all those posting on those shows. Matter of fact, they got a 3-on-3 coming up this weekend, August 4th and 5th. And I actually sponsored, in the Sports Collective, joint sponsored the jerseys.
Oh, nice.
With 3-on-3 with the LABC. So,
are they going to be in the Nike 3-on-3?
Yeah, the Nike 3-on-3.
Oh, yeah, I got a team in there,
Saturday
too.
and Sunday. Yeah, so we're going to be down there. So, shouts out to the LABC League. Make sure you check them out.
And also Thurman Thomas, one of the players I work with, he's going to be on a 3-on-3 team as well.
Yeah,
I
so
got him on last night.
That's
so.
the 4th and 5th of this weekend, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Now, here's the next thing. We got to get somehow we got to get ourselves, there's a celebrity game that happens every year, and they bring out everybody.
Yeah.
I talked to everybody last year, so we got to get in on
Where's that
that.
located?
Where's
Downtown,
that
Staples Center. It's
wow.
a whole celebrity game. And
We got to get in there.
He's got the
already
hookup.
passed. I think that passed already.
Did it?
No,
They
that was
already
the
had
one.
it?
That was the one at UCLA, but that was
Well,
like.
that was a
Oh yeah, that was
Nike,
UCLA. No,
something
this
by
one
Nike?
is the Nike 3-on-3 at the towards the end.
Oh, okay.
They have it was after the Drew League had ended last year.
Oh, okay.
They had this celebrity game. So
Is it
I have a
run by
connection.
Nike?
Yes, run
Okay.
by Nike.
Okay.
But they had actors there. They had Ramona Shelburne was playing.
Well, if it's run by
Got to
Nike, they're
interview
going to get their
her.
athletes out there,
Oh, yeah,
and then
for
if their
sure.
athletes are out there, then the
Well, I
celebrities
mean, I
Yeah.
have to say, the Drew League this season has not had the number of athletes from the NBA that they
Oh, wow.
normally
usually
have.
do.
Yeah, people showed up.
Do you
and there
think
was-
because it's just getting too big of a name and
I
too
don't-
much
are they
attention is
busy
almost
doing
on us
other
now?
Things? I mean, I don't know.
Right, it's their summer.
Some
This
of them
is-
have
Yeah.
kids in the Vegas 48, Fabulous 48.
Right.
Is it the Pangos led tournament? So there's a lot of AAU coaches. I know Sean Miller's out there in Vegas. Everybody's in Vegas right now.
Right.
But I don't know if there's just so much going on now, or
And we forget they're
things
human.
change in the summer.
Thank you.
They want to take a break too. Like they're about to start preseason next month, right?
Playoffs?
No, I mean preseason.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
like
the G League and the G League draft is in August. And
right. So
and I'm amazed they have the flexibility, especially a big name like James Harden or something like that.
and if
To have
they're
the
in Team
flexibility in
USA,
their contract,
He used
because
to
they
come,
could
though.
get
He
injured
used
so
to
easily in the
come.
playground.
Yeah, but he's MVP.
Some dude
Let's
who
do
really,
this officially.
some guy who
Let the
really
man
doesn't
introduce
like
himself.
the
He
Rockets
just-
All right, who is
can
this?
make a big
Over
mark there.
yes,
You know,
like I was telling
stepping
my
on
crew,
Harden's foot.
I was coming in hot from the traffic. Of course, to
I'm
come
like,
in and
coming
close.
in hot? What's he mean by that?
Right, because I was over here zooming through the traffic, trying to get out here to my crew and also to all the audience out there.
Because it's hot in LA.
Right.
It's hot outside.
And we
man.
still have the worst to come, August and September.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our summer doesn't start till
Right.
late July.
It's shifted. It's
And all the
shifted.
bathing suits are off the racks
Right,
by the time
exactly.
it gets hot in LA.
You're still wearing them for like Halloween and stuff.
So give me your social media so they can make sure they follow you, man, because you got some excellent videos from this weekend, man.
Yes, definitely follow me. Twitter and Instagram at omoreno_1989.
So we already covered the Drew League, the first part. We're gonna, do a wraparound for you and kind of get your point of view of your experience at the Drew League this weekend. So what was that like for you, man?
Well, as I was telling Shireen, I love basketball. So yesterday's experience was it's like a dream come true. When you're able to just kind of go by and see some of these players that you see on TV, you put them as heroes, you put them on pedestals. But when you're right there in front of them, you forget they're human, just like us.
Yeah, they sweat all over
right,
you.
Right. And to see, like,
step on your foot,
when everyone rushed over to Harden.
Poke you in the eyeball.
Right, exactly. Anyone else but Harden, He poked me in the eye, but anyone else, I would have said something. I was telling Sherry I'm not washing my eye for like the next 3 weeks. But it was very fun. The atmosphere was very live. Obviously, a lot of more people showed up for that game of the year. But even then, it's just the culture of it is really nice to be out there and to see people that are really working at their dreams. Yeah. Because the people that play there every day, you have these stars come in, but you have people that are there every game looking to still build and chase those dreams, which we brought up here before.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd like to say that Montrezl Harrell was there from the beginning, so he's played all season long. So you guys got to watch him yesterday, but he's the one NBA player who had been there the whole time.
Props to him.
And he played yesterday, and he played really well yesterday.
Right. And you got to give credit to these big name players because it's these guys that bring the whole attention and the whole spotlight to the Drew League, which eventually helps these young guys who are trying to make a name for themselves and trying to get scouts and all of this stuff interested in them. If it weren't for the big name guys, the spotlight probably wouldn't be on that tournament as much, I feel like.
It's kind of like a give and take because I think we talked about this before. Because you get all these stars, sometimes these players don't get the credit they deserve.
Or they don't get to play.
Right, or they don't get to play. Like, a lot of people look at it and they're like, oh, it's a pickup game. It's like, no, these players work hard. They're out here. Like, when you go out there and watch them, you see that these are legit players with skill sets. Frank Session was like Birdie's Revenge was up there playing skill wise with some of these NBA players. So it's like you ask the question, why aren't they in the league? Maybe that's another discussion we need to go into. Right.
Well, you got G-Money, you got Bugatti. It goes all the way down. I introduced you to Tim Johnson.
Right, exactly.
Named Bugatti for a reason.
Right, exactly.
Because George, when he announces a game, it's always Bugatti with the assist, Bugatti with the, so you get to know these guys.
Exactly, personally.
From their nicknames and stuff like that.
It was a great experience, and I'll definitely be back there.
Yeah.
For that editing, man, what did you capture? I know there's...
Oh, man, I also got the one with Kevin.
Some dunks.
I got some dunks. The one I really liked was the one Kevin Porter, where I thought he was going to posterize. Oh. And then he got fouled, and I was trying to go up to him and be like, show him, like, you're right. He got hacked right here. It's like, you can't dunk when you're getting hit on the forearm, right? But you know what? You can't call everything.
The thing is, the one thing about Kevin Porter Jr., the future Trojan, he's gotten a lot of attention out of the Drew League. We've all seen that. I knew what he could do at the Ball's Life. But he keeps his composure really, really well. Yeah. You watched a lot of those players yesterday lose it.
Right.
But he didn't. Even when he got fouled, he never lost his... So I thought, he's surrounding himself with Coach Emma actually brought him from the Compton Magic. So he's surrounding himself with, he's got a support system in here, even though he's from Seattle. And now he's got a brand new fan base. And Trojan fans... You got to come watch him. He's really fun.
He's excited for that.
You should get excited for next year because he's a baller.
His teammate played yesterday. We interviewed him on Saturday. And Elijah Weaver, future Trojan, he's also playing. So he played. I was pointing him out.
So they have a bright side going into next season. So definitely come out and watch. You know.
Oh, for sure.
Fredo was upset there weren't any Bruins, but Jalen Hands usually plays.
Fredo was not the truth today. Anything you wanted to cover before we get into the alert, man? Anything in the sports world that you want to talk about?
Sports world, definitely. Zlatan, he had a hat trick.
Who?
Zlatan Ibrahimovic for the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
Galaxy.
So, like, this guy,
by his last
the God.
He is everything Galaxy is paying for. Right? Like,
thank God.
Right. But this guy he's just a star. Like, you can tell that this guy, everywhere he goes, he just has that attention. Now that he's in LA, he's doing what he said he's going to do, and now he has to deliver by getting that championship. Right. I'm an LAFC fan, so I don't see that happening.
Did he come in his prime?
Well,
I'm just asking.
no.
Or is he at the starlight of his career?
For
Because
this
that's what-
level, MLS, it's
Yeah.
like he's still in his prime.
Okay.
Like, there's no
He's still
defender
a
that could guard.
clear level
He-
above
right.
league here. But
He's not
I
gonna
would say,
take-
When David
no.
Beckham came, is he at that stage? Or
Well,
is he-
Beckham, when Beckham came,
and
people
he
felt
actually attributed to some wins too. David Beckham.
Beckham when he came, people felt he was done, but he actually recovered his career here, and he did so well that they actually ended up calling him back to Europe.
Wow.
So the same thing
That's
might
right.
happen
You went
with
to
Ibra.
play in England again
Right.
for the
Milan.
Premier League.
Donovan's still playing too somewhere, isn't he?
Right, he's still playing. He
Oh, he's
retired
so
from
good.
U.S., but I think he's still playing out there.
Should have been on the U.S. team.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's right. But Ibrahimovic, I don't know if he's as good as back in the Paris
Oh
Saint-Germain
no, he
days
doesn't
or
have
anything.
he doesn't have that speed, but he still has a leg, and he still has. You can't guard him.
He's good
Oh,
for his
definitely.
era, right? He's
Right.
in-
But he's. I
in
mean,
that
now
era.
I don't think he's ever dealt with the pressure of a city like LA before. Because in Europe, there's definitely pressure, but it's they separate. I don't know. There's a
But he loves it.
No,
pressure
Europe
you know what I mean?
is
There's
the
not
only
a
thing
pressure-
they
there's
have
pressure
is
overseas.
soccer.
There's
pressure
not that many
overseas.
cameras.
That's all they have, though,
and
is
there's
soccer.
Yeah, that's true. But the media is not as ruthless
you-
as they
Oh, they
are out
aren't?
here,
Oh.
and
Did
it's
you
not
hear-
as big. And it's just.
Did you hear what he said in regards to LeBron and the Lakers?
Oh,
What did he say?
LA
He's
has
like-
a king and now
Wait
a
a
god
minute.
too.
He
You
said,
had a rule.
No, he wasn't
Okay,
here.
all right.
"Okay." He said, if LeBron needs me, I'll suit up and I'll play for the Lakers. You know, he said that.
my
Okay,
God.
that was
So that's
awesome.
just
They're
to show.
going to kick the ball into the
That's
basket.
just to show you where his ego is at. This guy, he just feels like he's an athlete that could just transcend in any
Well,
sport.
Machado also,
Right.
Man, Lakers
Brian's number.
should sign him on a 10-day contract, sell some jerseys.
Right.
All right.
All right.
So as promised, you've been checking the social
You can
media. We
play
got
the
the
charity.
alert. We've got the bells, man. So I'm gonna turn it over to
Yes,
Mr.
coming up.
Big
We're
Al.
When do we
Talking about the
When
NBA
do we
alert.
press the bell?
So-
when we
so
have
give her
something
the
to say?
ring the bell when you feel like something controversial has been said, or when you feel like,
Oh, okay.
no, not at all.
Or there's an alert to
This is
say.
my
an
point.
alert.
It's an
Okay,
alert,
all
an
right,
alarm.
Alarm.
There we
That
go.
bell
All right,
in
let's
front
go,
of-
man.
A
What
lot
you
of stuff
got?
been happening in the NBA. Team USA has just been picked recently. We got Popovich as the head coach, and they obviously want Kawhi on the team, but he didn't show up to the mini camp and everything. Now, I'm wondering, like the whole situation in Toronto. I feel like they really have a potential to re-sign Kawhi to a longer deal after. What do you guys feel like? Do you think they can do it like OKC did with Paul George and convince him to stay, or do you think that that's just out? Because the more and more time passes after him getting traded to Toronto, it really seems like it was just disappointment in the Spurs organization and not, him just being absent from stuff.
Who's going to get taxed a whole lot more in
He
Toronto?
didn't hit the bell. He didn't hit the bell.
I don't know if I disagree.
Yeah, exactly. He went from being
mean-
an untaxed state to now Toronto, which
Highly
is
taxed
highly
again.
Very
taxed
taxed.
city. Yes,
But
I
you don't.
hope he's paid in U.S. dollars.
We don't
But
realize that-
Still, the book's out. We don't know. We don't know where his head's at. He's okay to be in Toronto. I still think DeMar got the better end of that. And to your
Right.
point, he was over there. Pop was actually working with DeMar on the USA
Oh, yeah,
team,
I saw the videos
and
of
DeMar
that
was
and everything.
listening to him, and I'm like, I told you he got the better end of the deal.
So what do you think DeMar's potential is in
a
San
lot
Antonio?
more now.
A lot more?
Yeah, he's got a great coach who's going to show him how he can be better.
DeMar just needs to get over Toronto. Like they were.
I think he's done it. He's like, I'm done. Move on.
I don't know. I think he says it, but I
He
think
got Rudy Gay to play with him in the Drew League, and then
Right.
he went to immediately to go play for Pops in USA. No excuses. He went straight to.
I just feel like
Las Vegas.
he took it really hard when I think it was the GM that had just told him we're not trading you, and then it's just
Yeah.
those trust things. Like
And then the guy apologized.
right, what does it matter at that point? He's
Yeah,
already traded.
that's just insult.
But
to
I
injury
think
then.
Toronto's in a good position whether they want to keep him and resign him, or actually they could still trade him. Like if they feel like they're not going to trade him, let's say, they're not going to keep him in January, they still have a really good person that they could trade for a package, kind of deal with someone that might be
build
out there
something, yeah.
exactly that want to rent him.
They're
just-
going to have to trade him mid-season. Right?
right.
Yeah.
Yikes!
Yeah.
I don't know. Have fun with that, Toronto.
It's
Right.
business.
Have
It's
fun.
entertainment. It's
Yeah.
All I
entertainment.
know is
That's
they
true.
let go of my boy Raleigh Hawkins, and he was signed with Chicago. I just want to shout out to King Raleigh of Chicago now, number 20. Pay attention.
But I mean, you know what? But a good fit.
Underrated.
I feel like someone where he could go for like half a year and really have a chance to win a championship, like Philly. If Philly manages a way to give a package to Toronto and say, okay, we're not signing him back, but let me just get him because I feel like we have a better chance of beating someone
In
like
the
the
playoffs,
Warriors
yeah.
or let's say whoever, Houston or Lakers, whoever.
That's a
Well,
big
I
ass,
think the
that's
whole
a big
Paul
ass
George-
contract.
Right.
But the whole Paul
Everybody
George,
buying that one out.
Paul George resigning definitely gave them some inspiration to think, maybe we
It's
can
up to the
resign him
fans
because
of
it's not about the
Toronto.
market.
I think it's up to the fans of Toronto,
Yeah.
and it's up to the coach, and they all
Drake.
have to. Drake has to
But
chime in.
people forget.
Honestly, Drake is there.
People
right?
tend to forget Toronto is definitely a
It's the
bigger
whole
market
country.
than San Antonio
It's
is.
the whole
It's
country.
Canada.
Yep.
You're representing
It's all
Canada.
Canada.
And if you're looking to get into the business side of that, you can expand into more than I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like you
You
can
can
in
get
San
a lot of
Antonio. So there's
endorsements and
more
stuff like that.
deals that. But before we finish the show, I want to get into one more topic
ahead,
real
go ahead.
quick.
We got time.
An important part of the discussion, the whole Kawhi Leonard being out so long, distrusting the Spurs doctors and everything. There was some new light shed on that, and Danny Green, he was involved in the trade going to Toronto as part of the package.
Oh, yeah.
We all forget about that.
He just recently came out and said I believe it was a groin injury or something, where he came out and said, you know what, I went back and played and it wasn't right. I should have got that separate second opinion from doctors. Do you guys think for NBA players nowadays, and you could move that into football as well and other sports too, but especially in the NBA, do you feel like players now have a need to think twice about trusting their team doctors?
I think they should get 5 opinions.
Right. That's
But go ahead.
But
Because
I
the
didn't ring my
teams are
bell.
trying to bring them back as fast
again,
as possible because
you
it's a
forget-
business.
You forget that they're people, right? And so if you get a diagnosis that you don't agree with, you have the right to go,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
find
Second
somebody else to
opinion.
get a second opinion.
But
That's-
that was
even
never.
if you live with a chronic illness, you have that right. You can actually take your request that I'm tired of talking to you. You're not helping me. I want to find somebody else to go and see.
But now it's
I had a
becoming-
doctor that was a team doctor for one of the NBA teams, and I'm not going to name which team, but that guy didn't help me.
Let's leave his name unknown.
Get you back out there,
I had to
Shereen.
go to a naturopath doctor.
I'll get you back out there.
Get back on the court,
Yeah, for sure.
Here's
Shout out
Suck
to
it
Dr.
up.
Sanford who helped me
Give it to him.
Here's
solve my problems.
Here's my take. These players are like a business, and as a business, you have to always have your side of everything. Because if he does get injured, that is a lot of money that he's going to be losing. So if you don't have your own accounts, if you don't have everything your own that could check whatever it is that's being offered,
Of course.
I'm shocked that he didn't. He
Right.
just said, okay, whatever the team doctor said.
that's what I'm saying. Is that you can't? You're over here. That's going to cost you millions of dollars if you happen to get more injured. Look what happened with
In the
Isaiah
long run.
Thomas. I
Exactly.
keep bringing it up.
Even if it
Exactly.
costs $2,000.
But see, a veteran player should know better. But what about these young kids coming
How
into
young
the
is he,
league?
though?
No, but I'm talking about like these young kids.
No,
coming
you've
in
got
and
to
injuring
go-
You got to be
themselves.
surrounded by the right people.
Exactly.
in your
Right,
life.
right.
Right.
You got to go.
Like
and
if
get
I'm a mom of
second
one of those
opinions.
younger
we're going
dudes,
forward-
I'd be at the doctor's like, which 5 are you going to go talk
But
to?
so
Yeah.
going forward in the NBA, these young players need to be cautious of something like that.
They need
Just,
their
just like they need to be
agents,
cautious about their
their moms and
financials.
Yeah,
They need to
definitely.
be conscious about their
Yeah.
health. And
Right.
you got to
But
get
I
second
feel
Gotta
like they
surround
didn't
themselves
need
with
to
the
start
right
thinking
If you're gonna
about
have an
that until
entourage,
this-
it might as well be a professional entourage
Thank you.
with your
Right.
agent, like you
But it
said.
better not be the weed smoking,
Oh, well,
ice dropping.
well, that's
wanting
the-
to get everything they can off.
No,
you
that's the
type.
wrong kind of entourage. If you're gonna
Gotta
be paying
have some
someone,
people.
might as well pay something you're gonna benefit from.
Yeah.
And having a
Someone
lineup
might
doctor,
say something you don't want to hear.
right?
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not just trying to get money out
Because
of
they
your
care about you.
Exactly, because if you get injured, then you probably won't get another contract, and then next thing you know, they're not
That's right.
being signed by an NBA player. So
Okay, so if any of you players out there need a voice of reason or somebody to help you find another doctor, you know where to find me at Sports Crazy.
Call
Two
Shireen,
B's
and
on
you can
Twitter.
call
That
our
calls-
radio show
that calls
too.
for an alarm, yo.
Definitely.
Hey, you
That's
know I'd
right.
be good. I'm good at it.
For an alarm.
Good at
Call
it.
Shireen if you need that doctor, and definitely call 323-293-3375 if you want to voice your opinion on the Sports Collective
Definitely.
TV
Next
radio
time.
show.
and so make sure we got August coming up. We're going to have a lot of different guests coming, a lot of different episodes. So make sure you stay tuned.
A lot of events
Mother
happening around the
Fitness.
city.
You've seen Mother Fitness
Yes.
this month. She's actually going to be here scheduled to be here on the August 13th episode. So Mother Fitness is coming back to talk some health and wellness about that bodybuilding and exercise and diet. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Social media, Twitter, Instagram. I'm at IMWDC. On Instagram for Sports Collective Media. Facebook, Sports Collective Media. Just follow us. # Sports Collective Media. Shout us out. What's the count?
Have a great week.
yes, have a great week. We'll see y'all next week.